It's mid-end May and it feels warm. Today we're going to get up to almost 80. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, yes. And I didn't switch my glasses. I should have grabbed my sunglasses because I'm going to be all squinty because it's very bright. Even with my back to the sun, but I'm like, yay, woo, touchdown. Wait, what hit? Touchdown. Woo, woo, woo. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello, fairy grasshoppers. Nice to see you today. Today we are going to talk about mood. What are the things that get you into a good mood, and what does that have to do with intuition, energy, psychic awareness, that kind of thing? Mood has absolutely everything to do with intuition. Intuition and mood are very close allies. In fact, your mood is like your temperature of what your energy has been, what is being absorbed into your personal space or your energetic being. And so it's a good idea for you to start to become aware of the fact that your bad moods or your good moods are totally and completely related to the energy that you are processing, connected to, or impacted by. So often your environment definitely will have an impact. Of course it does. Of course it does. Your environment, your physical environment, the sunshine, nature has an impact on you, and as the same with that, other people have an impact on you. So think about this now. In the olden days when we used to just hang out outside, and I was of a time where, I'm going to date myself, some of you relate because most of you are kind of around my age-ish, where we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have a computer phone in our pockets all the time. And we didn't have the social media pressures and such. If you had a problem with somebody, you were just a jerk to them in school. Pretty much, right? You could avoid negative people and environments that weren't super pleasing. You could do things right to get out of that kind of those situations, well, as much as possible. And now, because of all this intense stimulus of social media and of quick access, quick response, drive-through kind of instant reaction, instant response, there's not really a kind of a space gap to process energy and information. And we are getting energy, information all the time. We are constantly doing that. We are intuitively interpreting energy, whether you're conscious of it, cognizant of it or not. You are. That's exactly what you're doing. That's what empaths do. That's what highly sensitive people do. That's what everybody does, but not everybody recognizes. That's why your mood changes dramatically when you have an interaction with someone else and you feel triggered by that energy. It's not just intellectual triggers or stimulus intellectually. It's not just that. It's not just your brain drawing back into your archives some examples of a similar experience. It's not just that recall piece. It is the evoking of energy through emotion that comes up because of that creates this strange dynamic between your mood and it's not even a strange dynamic. It's just a direct relationship between your mood and your energy intake. So you're being very intuitive. You have a lot of intuition, information coming in through senses, through energy. So your environment and the people that are around you, yes, definitely impact your energy. And there are some choices that you have to not be impacted by that so much. You don't always have to be absorbing everybody's stuff. And this is a really difficult habit to break or to shift. I know that. It is hard for me. I am working on it constantly by being aware of the fact that I'm being triggered or my mood is starting to change. What is it that is causing the change in my mood or the shift in my mood? What is causing that? There has to be something energetically that is affecting me. So if I'm in awareness that my mood is starting to change, either up or down, etc., what is it that is the trigger of that is causing that situation, causing that kind of internal response within me, that intuitive, energetic response? And I find personally that this is a process of awareness. If you can simply allow yourself to be aware, most often it's your brain that is actually stepping in with the thoughts kind of scenarios. It's giving you the the worst case scenarios, the best case scenarios. It's making you feel like everything is personal, because that's what we do. We personify or personalize every situation, everything around us, whether it's sunny or cloudy. Oh, that must have something to do with me. We instantly take on or absorb this energy of how we are impacting or influencing everything around us, when the truth is our strongest source of power is influencing and impacting the energy within us. So we don't need to look outside for external stimulus. We have the energy to support us, to promote us, to resource us within for a healthy life, for healthy choices, for positive life choices. So awareness is a huge key. This is a practice of awareness. If you don't like the mood that you're in, you can look back to, or you can trace your steps back to whatever created the thoughts that caused the mood to shift. Because when you process energy, it goes through the mind. It will go through the mind in order to create a behavioral response to that energetic stimulus or that energetic information. The message comes in, the mind interprets it, and changes your attitude, adjusts your attitude, your behavior, again, based on the archives of past patterns and experiences that the mind has. And it uses that to kind of give you a framework and a perspective to adjust yourself internally just so, in order to be able to fit in with whatever you're experiencing, or potentially fit in with whatever information you're being given, whether it's reading a social media post on Instagram, or watching a YouTuber doing a vlog, or whether it's hearing a conversation in the grocery store, or bumping into somebody in the hallway at school and noticing like what they're wearing, or this backpack that you really wanted but you didn't buy because you didn't want to invest the money because you know you needed to save it to buy groceries next week. College students, I totally get you. I feel you. I hear you. I have one. I've been one. I'm going to have two soon. Oh. So awareness is a practice that can help us manage our stuff inside. There's nothing wrong with you. You're totally, absolutely 100% made to process energy through information, or get to receive information by way of energy. And that is intuitive. That is intuition. So it's about time you start using intuition to help balance out what the mind is trying to overcompensate for. The mind is trying to give you a frame of reference based on past experiences, which is very rational and very real, could be very practical, especially if you're in a life or death kind of situation. You don't have time to think, it's just an automatic response. Well, it's time to have your intuition, your spirit, your soul, and your heart be part of that conversation and dialogue. And in order to bring in your heart and understand the energy of versus what's somebody else's, what's theirs, what's collective, what's societal, what's old patterns from you when you were 7 and now you're 30. 7-year-old you and 30-year-old you, yeah, you have had some different kinds of experiences now. So don't act like you're 7 now in your mind's eye. Use all the information and resourcefulness that you have available to you, which is your heart, your emotion, energy, what's yours versus what's not yours, and your intuition, which is your gut sensing, knowing. The being of you, not the doing. The intuition is the being. It's the whole shebang. It's the energy of the balance that happens. So you be aware of the thoughts, and that will give you, if you practice being aware of your thoughts, you'll recognize the auto response that's starting to happen. And then what you can do is give yourself opportunity to distance yourself from that instant mood shift to giving yourself a little room, little wiggle room, little flexible room, little bit of a stepping back, a little bit of a breath, space, pause, so that you can then reset yourself and make a healthy choice for you, a choice that is informed through awareness. It's not that the mind is making bad choices at all, it's just doing what it's always done, but it's operating on information from when you were 14. Remember those awkward 14-year-old teenager states? Yeah, nobody that is 30, 40, 50, 60 wants to operate as a 14-year-old awkward kid. So give yourself the benefit of some space, some room, some expanded room to resource the information that is really yours emotionally, energetically. Is there a trigger? What's this about? How do I really feel? How do I feel? Is this bringing up something from the past? Okay, well, if that past information comes into my present, then you can deal with it. But don't go digging or looking for the problem that caused a shift in your attitude or your mood. It's not a problem. It's a natural response. But when you're in awareness of the patterning of yourself and how it works, then you can get additional information from your heart, your personal feelings and emotions. How do I want to feel right now? How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel right now? And then using your intuition, you might want to give yourself some opportunity to use some of your tools, like your rocks or your crystals or incense or whatever it is that kind of shifts your energy vibe into your like spirit space, your soul space. Maybe it's flipping a card or reading a great passage of a poetry book that you have, or when I say flipping a card, I mean like oracle cards, angel cards, lots of different card decks I've showcased here on Fairy Grasshopper channel, but there's a lot of resources you can use to work your intuition up here. Let me just move a little bit. Plastic chair, starting to stick to it just a wee bit. Got some shorts on today. Shorts, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, shorts. And you can also be well served by bringing in energy that is in alignment. Like for me, sun energy is so in alignment. It is exactly who I am at my core, and it fills me up and helps me to feel so good. And that's a choice I make. Then I'm going to come outside. I'm going to be outside as much as I can. I'll put my hat on in a little bit here after I'm done with session with you, and make sure I do have sunscreen on, but I'll reapply later throughout the day because I have another session this afternoon, but I'll do those kinds of things. And those are choices that I'm going to make to connect with energy in a purposeful manner, not just accept all the energy. You're not like a windshield, a car driving down the highway of life and getting splattered with bugs. I mean, that's not it's not supposed to be how you're living, okay? It doesn't have to be all that hard, and you're not a big target. Everything just isn't really about you, even if we interpret it or misinterpret it in our mind that it is about you, to keep you kind of small in your little space so that you can be protected easily. The bigger you are, the harder you fall, right? You've heard that, right? Or the bigger you are, the bigger a target you are. Like, we all know these things. These are in our subconscious. We've been trained to recognize that. Well, famous people have it rough too because they have no privacy, they have no life. Everybody feels like they own them, and everybody's mean to them all the time. Do you see this? So why would you want to be living life happy when your relatives aren't happy, or other people around you are complaining all the time, or somebody you know is not well, they have a disease they're working with, trying to heal and live their best life, but they're really in a low spot? So it almost feels like you don't have the right to be joyful, happy, connected, making healthy, positive choices for yourself. Now, this doesn't mean that everybody else has to understand you or want to be there and are on that path with you. They're not. It's not their path. It's your path, and it can be lonely. That's why we're having this conversation. We're talking about mood, because mood is a big deal, because we use words like anxiety, depression, hypersensitivity, impulsivity, addiction. We use all these different kinds of words as well as states and behaviors to help cope or deal with or manage our emotion, our attitude, our mood. And there's a lot that has been said about all of these things and more. And I think if we just can kind of boil it down to something kind of simple today and just start with this concept of being in a practice of awareness, then hopefully that will get you some of your power back. I'm working on it myself, and it's not easy, but it's not hard either. It's not hard. We're going to create some healthy patterns, and we can do it together, empath to empath. So I'm Bridget. Thanks so much for being here on Fairy Grasshopper, my YouTube channel, where I vlog, inspire your spirit, fill you with some hope, talk about intuitive topics, give you some card readings, some fun intuitive tools to work with, and I share about what it's like to be a psychic and have a real life. Like, I talk about my family and myself and my own journey and that kind of a thing too, so that you and I can really relate to each other. We can kind of get to know each other and such. So, all right. So I'm looking forward to reading your comments on this video. I hope has inspired you just a wee bit and maybe filled your cup up with some hope. Speaking of cups, I think I'm going to go have some Coffee. Oh yeah. Some of you were like, coffee. Yes, because I love coffee. I love it. I'm trying to like chill it out down a little bit, not drink so much, which will get easier when it gets to be summer because I'm not really a huge iced coffee fan, so I'll drink more water anyway, but coffee. Yes. All right. I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for watching.